Aloha. Today I wanted to talk about the New Age deception and how it's infiltrating the psyche of individuals who are aware and unaware of the multi-layer, multi-dimensional experience that is happening both collectively and individually. So most people are aware of the statement of nothing new being under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. Yet a lot of those same people who understand that to the depths, to some depths of understanding, still subscribe to an idea known as the New Age movement or the New Age whatever. This is not something that is a mistake. When you see things that happen on the political scale, or you see things that happen on things like 9/11 and the Oklahoma City bombing, the world wars, and smallpox blankets, and all of these destructive patterns of based in control and separation and ultimately slavery, enslavement of the mind and of the planet. These are very calculated and orchestrated movements. And when you have an awakening of a peoples that have been shut down, trapped in a box for centuries, for however long, duped out of their own evolutionary potentiality beyond the old, and being held back from discovering the true new that exists in every moment that the I Magi has to create, to invent, to explore, to amplify. When you label something, you create a box. And people who want to be a part of that box, they have to adjust their reality. They have to adjust their frequency to fit inside of that box. And there are people out there who understand these boxes and can see them from when they're being created and when they're up and running on collective scales and individual scales, internally and externally. And when we allow ourselves to be caught up in those boxes can become our reality. We start painting the sky on the ceiling of that box. We start painting the horizon on the walls of that box. We start building, putting CFL lights inside of that box to mimic some kind of light that is for us, but it's not. It's not difficult to see these trends once you let go of the judgment or the how the way things are supposed to be. It's not difficult to do this once we've allowed ourselves to free our minds from from what it is we believe, or even that word belief. When words like and understandings like the truth and the various layers of truth that exist become extinct. Like though, even those various layers of truth have gone from an endangered species and have leaked into extinction in many frames of thought and many individuals, to the point of where we have started to paint our boxes with gold leaf, and it's fool's gold leaf. This is the currency that our minds and our psyches have succumbed to. And when you look at a war of the mind or a spiritual warfare, you have to see that this is the most out there and in your face versions of what is known to be positive movement or progress, or things such as CERN and NASA now speaking up about the history of NASA, and even with even something as easy as visualizing the political scene and what that's all about, and the origins of politics, the origins of the White House, the origins of presidents, the origins of destruction, the various cultural differences that exist that have been washed over or completely forgotten or manipulated to look a certain way. Nations are a box. Nations are a box. Music, styles of music is a box. Clothing, trends, these are boxes. Pop, that's a giant box. Television is one of the most obvious boxes. Your telephone, your smartphone, that's a box. All these boxes are created to keep a box mentality. And if you install something that's called new, like the new age, into that box, then you can start to adjust the evolutionary path of not only that individual, but it'll shockwave through their peer groups, it'll shockwave through their children, and it'll shockwave through generations. So when you understand the term, the idea of there's nothing new under the sun, and you understand basic math of seeing the term new age and how accepted it is today, and how it is celebrated as something positive. The new age is nothing different than Walmart and Whole Foods and politics. You gotta see, Walmart, you can go to Walmart and buy groceries. You can go to Walmart and buy clothes. You can go to Walmart and buy stuff that you might need to survive. But if you don't look outside of that box, you won't see the sweatshops. You won't see the sacrifices of individuals who live outside of that space for the sake of somebody else's illusion. You can go to Whole Foods and you can go get your organic food, your the stuff that's supposed to be good for you, and it's not genetically modified. It's not going to kill you. But at what expense? What's the difference between that? What role does Whole Foods play in the gentrification game, and how that's being manipulated today? What roles are the politics and the destructive mentality of the military-industrial complex and the prison-industrial complex that's accepted in this reality today? So yeah, people still vote and vote for rights, so-called rights. But what about the rights that existed before today? What about the rights of the Native Americans and the rights of the earth, the rights of the waters, the rights of humanity, the rights of peace? All these things have been washed over, glazed over by ideas of limitation and separation to keep that psyche shut down. So in addressing this, and I'll end up on this note, and addressing the new age, I just want to put out there, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of your sources, be aware of the energies that are being manipulated on every level, and be aware of your brothers and sisters that exist throughout this entire human experience. Be aware of your boxes that get created. Be aware of your imagination and aware of your dreams. Be aware of all these things without having any attachment to them, and see from a perspective that is beyond what your friends might think, what your parents might think, what a certain news source might think, whether it's so-called conscious or not. These are all algorithms that exist out there for not always the benefit of the individual, and especially the collective, when you start to zero in on the microscopic level and also zoom out on the macroscopic level. So an obvious pattern, and I'll probably end up doing another video on this to go a little deeper into it, but for the sake of right now and just putting this out there, if you are connected with your ancestors, if you are connected, if you have an awareness of a story that exists before history, if you have an awareness of the indigenous peoples, if you have an awareness of yourself, your own spark that is infinite, if you have awareness of all of this, then there can be a deeper awareness of the other side of something called the New Age. Not just the positive, not just the fact that you can go in there and into the New Age Walmart and go get your New Age food and get your New Age water and get your New Age clothes and get your New Age wedding bands and get your New Age video games and get all this New Age stuff. That's still Walmart. Your New Age isn't new. Everything is old. All of it is old. And controllers, people who mean to control, they have to create an idea that you will want to buy, that you will want to be a part of. The New Age is an advertisement. It's a commercial. It's a Geico commercial for car insurance, for life insurance, that you're supposed to be a part of if whatever, when you already have the capabilities to do everything that's within and beyond the boxes of a new age. So take what you can from the understandings of those creations and leave the fat. Leave that shit. Leave the rest. Create your own age that is the same age as everybody else. And remove the labels. And you'll see something that is beyond the limitations. So I'll leave it there. Thank you for joining me. Till next time, peace, love, and harmony.